Hello everyone, John from Gaming in the Wild here, and it's been a long time since the last video. I've been moving house and changing job, but I'm all set up again now, and I've got another preview video for you today looking at all of the top releases coming out in the month of August. It's a packed month of releases, there's a lot of games coming out, and I've put together a list of the top 10 games that I think look the most promising. There are 8 indie titles, 2 blockbuster games, and hopefully something that you want to add to your own wishlist and check out yourself. If you enjoy this video, then please give it a like. You can hit subscribe to get more videos like this in your feed. Tell me about the games that you are excited about this month in the comments, and I'll tell you about the channel's Patreon at the end. Let's start with one that's already out. On the 1st of the month, Thank Goodness You're Here came out, developed by Coal Supper and published by Panic. It's done really well with the critics, and it's sitting on a 90 on Metacritic with 10 out of 10 scores from Eurogamer, VGC and The Guardian, who said it sits alongside Monkey Island as one of the best comedy games ever made. I've played this one and I really like it. It's a brilliant, hilarious, top-down comedy game set in the north of England with a very British style of humour. You play as a balding, baby-sized businessman who runs around a town trying to help out people with their bizarre problems, like doing the shopping for a bed-bound oddball with a mile-long arm who insists you buy him some very old soup, or diving into the pipes of a pub to slap the kegs, find submerged lost souls and get the beer flowing again. All you can do in this game is run around, jump and slap stuff, but everything that you slap deteriorates or degrades slightly, like lampposts, dustbins, tree stumps, and it makes the whole thing just very silly fun from beginning to end. I will say that it's a not safe for work game. It's intentionally vulgar with loads of dangling body parts and fruity jokes. It's like a cross between the sketch show Little Britain and the neurotic fetish comic artwork of Robert Crumb. It makes for the kind of game that I've not seen before, and I think it's going to haunt the lower reaches of my Games of the Year list come year end. It's out now, and thank goodness it's here. We've got something much more wholesome coming out on the 5th. It's Fields of Mistria, developed and published by NPC Studio, and released on Steam only for now. And I'm not the biggest fan of these wholesome life sim games. I've chopped enough wood and I've picked enough strawberries to know they're not quite my thing, but I know a lot of you out there love them, so I'm flagging this one up for you. Fields of Mistria is a retro game of this type. The devs describe this as a spiritual successor to the farm sim RPGs of the late 90s and onward. It promises farming gameplay, building your homestead, romance, magic and adventure. It has a really nice pixel art style, and it seems like a real labour of love from people that really love this genre. So if you're a Stardew Valley type person who wants to stretch their legs in a new place, check out Fields of Mistria on the 5th of the month. Soon after on the 9th we get The Crush House, developed by Nereal and published by Devolver Digital. This one's coming out on PC and Mac at first, although you can expect a console release. And it's maybe the most original game on this list, because while most games seem to fit pretty neatly into firmly established genres, The Crush House seems to be pioneering something new. You play as the sole producer of a reality TV show, a bit like Big Brother, and you choose the contestants, you film them coming into the house, they fight, they kiss, they eat, they hang out together, and you get ratings and money based on how interesting the results are. So you're acting as a producer and a cameraman and all sorts of side jobs as well. I found it a really interesting sensation to be voyeuristically filming these contestants with a camera and moving between different groups and that sort of thing. It felt like something fresh to me, and I thought the Steam Next Fest demo was really compelling actually. So if you're interested in being the showrunner of an interactive reality TV show, check out The Crush House on the 9th. There's another interesting looking game coming out on the 13th, and that is Farewell North, developed by solo developer Kyle Banks and published by Moon Eyes Studios, who you might know from Lost Ember. And if you're a dog person who watched the world light up about the game Stray in 2022, this might be the dog game you've been waiting for. You play as a border collie restoring colour to your depressed human's black and white world as they hike across an open landscape. It looks like you have to explore fields and forests and ruins, you're uncovering memories, you're digging things up, you're finding pickups, and then as you bound through the world, colour returns to the flowers and the grass and the trees and to your owner's life. The movement looked a touch sluggish to me in the trailer, but the concept is original and interesting, so I'll be fetching Farewell North on Steam on the 13th of the month. On the 15th we have something for the FPS fans. It's I Am Your Beast, developed by Strange Scaffold and published by Frosty Pop. It's a hyper-stylized, comic book-style, fast-paced FPS in which you fight your way through 20 sandboxy mini-areas on a mission to take down the military-industrial complex. There are enemies that hunt you in packs, and you have to clear them out, you have to take them down, steal their weapons, and use tunnels and tree climbing to avoid being pinned down and caught. It all has a bit of a John Wick vibe with emergent gameplay in the combat, like throwing your empty gun to stun a guard, grabbing his pistol, and then taking down all the other guards in the space of just a couple of seconds. So if that sounds like fun to you, check out I Am Your Beast, which drops on the 15th of the month. On the 20th, we get a big one. It's Black Myth Wukong, developed and published by Chinese game house Game Science. It's coming out on PC, PS5, and the Xbox Series consoles. This is a pretty flashy action RPG that's been long in the making, and it looks like it might be taking notes from Software. You play as a Planet of the Apes-style monkey Ronin on a mission to, I don't know, kill a god, reclaim your throne, whatever really. It's based on Chinese mythology, and it has a very cool mythic visual style in the creatures and the architecture. It's a combat-heavy game with a Bayonetta-style dodge system in which you can chain dodges together for a devastating special move. It promises deep builds and plenty of varied, spectacular bosses. And I hope there's a little bit more to it than just tight combat, and that the RPG element goes beyond just leveling up your different skills. I would like to see a bit of story and exploration in this game too. That's Black Myth Wukong, out on the 20th. On the 21st of the month, we get the much anticipated Mika and the Witch's Mountain. You may have seen this one doing the round. It's a very nice looking game. It's one of those games with such an appealing core concept that it went viral immediately. It's basically Kiki's delivery service, the game. And if you haven't seen that Studio Ghibli movie, it's about a witch who does deliveries on a broomstick. In this game, we are Mika rather than Kiki, and we have to put around in the air on a little broomstick, taking packages and parcels and letters from place to place, doing deliveries, finding pickups and powering up to go higher and boost further, and all that sort of thing. The whole thing is really colourful and delightful, and I played the demo about a year or so ago, and I have to say it was pretty buggy and janky at the time, but the potential for the game was clear. It was very, very charming, even if it wasn't running or playing particularly well. But the devs delayed the release, and so hopefully Mika and the Witch's Mountain will be the game that we are all hoping for when it releases on the 21st of August. Just 3 more to go now, and on the 27th we get Crypt Custodian. This is a very, very promising looking game developed by Kyle Thompson and published by Top Hat and H2. Kyle Thompson was also the developer of the delightfully slick and charming Metroidvania Islets that I've been playing quite recently. You can hear me talk about it on the latest episode of the podcast if you would like to hear that. There's a podcast tab on my channel page. And where Islets was a Metroidvania, Crypt Custodian is a bit more like an old school Zelda-like. You play a janitor in the afterlife and you have to clear up mess, clear out enemies, solve puzzles, take on traversal gauntlets, and meet all of the weird and charming characters who live in this very cute version of hell. The game looks wonderful with a lovely hand-drawn style, and it's a very smooth, fluid play that really makes the case for high frame rates. I think the demo of this one was really, really compelling. It was one of the best I played at Next Fest. It was one of those games that you stop playing because you've already committed to playing the full thing when it comes out, and you don't want to spoil yourself on that experience, which we'll get when this game comes out on the 27th. On the 29th, we get Akimbot, developed by Evil Raptor and published by PlayOn. It's coming out on PC, PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series, and this one's a love letter to the original Ratchet & Clank games. You play as a robotic canine humanoid who bounds around in tight, fun levels, using your jetpack, double jumping, catching ledges. You bash enemies and they spray out loads of collectibles that you get to pick up in that Ratchet & Clank magnetic style that is just so satisfying. There are loads of secrets to find, you can power up and get new abilities, and there's a simple story to follow as well. It's worth saying that this is an indie game that lacks the polish of the latter-day Ratchet & Clank AAA editions, but the demo was really a lot of fun for this one. Fans of classic 3D platformers should definitely try it, and I'm sure they're going to lap it up. That's Akimbot, out on the 29th. And the last game I have for you is the big AAA release of the month. It is, of course, Star Wars Outlaws, coming out on the 30th. It's developed by Massive Entertainment and published by Ubisoft. This one will be coming out on everything imaginable, including your toaster, I'm sure. This is an ambitious open-world Star Wars game by the same developers as Avatar Frontiers of Pandora. Make of that what you will. I thought the Avatar game started off very strong, but quickly fell into an overfamiliar pattern of base clearing and powering up and so forth. A little bit too much grind, for me personally at least, and I'm hoping for a lot more from this game though. I think there's a bit more substance here from what we've seen so far. In this game you play as Kay Vess, a Han Solo style rogue who navigates the criminal underworld of several different planets that you'll be able to explore. There is an affinity system with lots of different factions, so you can make friends with certain gangs and shop with them and go into their bases, and other gangs will be hostile towards you. It looks like the gameplay includes smuggling, theft, space combat, side missions, racing around the busy roads of different planets on your speeder, blaster combat, and it looks like an awesome time all around. But in a recent round of previews that went out, pre-release playtests that different media outlets did, a lot of people talked about some alarm bells. They talked about instant fail stealth missions that are essential to the story. And if you've played Black Flag or any Assassin's Creed games, you'll know that those are just a complete buzzkill. There's nothing worse than working your way through a base, getting that alarm sounding, and having to do the whole thing over and over again. So that's a real bummer, and I really hope it doesn't tank this game, because I'm very excited about it. I love running around in any Star Wars universe, and the promise of a Star Wars open world game with speeders and all of that cool stuff is just very, very enticing, so I really hope this one is good. That's Star Wars Outlaws, out on the 30th. And with that, I'm going to wrap up this video. I really hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit like. You can subscribe to the channel for more like this, and you're also welcome to join the channel's Patreon. This is a behind-the-scenes Patreon that you can join for just $1 a month. For that $1, you get behind-the-scenes blog posts, you get additional podcasts, bonus episodes about different things like music and travel. You get to join the members-only Discord, which is the best perk of all. There are loads of people in there talking all the time. I will sometimes also post blogs about behind the scenes and how I make the videos. And of course, you get the good feeling of knowing that you're helping out this channel. So if you'd like to get engaged with that, it's patreon.com/gaminginthewild. There should be a link on screen now, and there is one in the show notes too. And I would like to say a big thank you to the latest patrons, Sean, Adam, Ant, Madeline, and Ruben. Thank you very much to all of them for signing up. You'll get a thank you too if you sign up. And with that, take care of yourselves and each other, and bye-bye for now.